Okay, good morning everybody. Today I'd like to begin my presentation with a little question. It's a very easy one. Do you know any of these series?
Yeah.
Yes?
All of
Okay,
them.
please raise your hand. How many of you watch at least one of these series? Okay, you have a very good taste. Extra points for everyone. Okay, so as you've just seen, almost everyone has seen at least one of these series. I'm sure many of you watch more than one. And they all have one thing in common. They're all modern American sitcoms. But what exactly is a sitcom? Or rather, which are the typical characteristics that a sitcom features? What makes a sitcom funny or entertaining? The word sitcom is in fact an abbreviation for situation comedy. So a sitcom is a genre or a type of comedy where the characters share the same environment, such as the same home or the same workplace. And then the humorous part, or the funny part, derives from the dialogues between the characters when they experience a certain situation. This is like the definition of sitcom. But let's have a more detailed look at the characteristics, the traits of a sitcom.
Missing video. Okay, we'll find one.
I can...
Do you remember this?
Yeah.
We'll set it.
Okay. Okay, so almost every single episode of any sitcom has the same structure. They all begin with a teaser. A teaser is a very short scene at the beginning, which finishes with a gag, some kind of joke. And it usually introduces the main story, the main plot of that episode. Then we have the opening of the intro, which is when the main theme or the main song of the series is played. And usually the opening of the intro doesn't change throughout the whole series, so you can recognize it easier. But, well, I had to read, may I try to look for the video now?
Recognize the jingles immediately when you listen to like 2.5 men.
I need to show that one.
Do you want to show that one? Yeah, that one. Which one? Oh, whoopsie.
Okay, so here you have an example of 2.5 and of the intro. And it's been about that.
Does anyone know how to speak? I thought you had it.
Okay, so this is the intro of the first season. You all know that one. Okay, now have a look at the intro of the season 6, for example. As you can see, Jake suddenly grows up. So, this happens when one of the actors is very, very young when they record the series, and he grows as the series continues. So they had to change the intro so the intro matches the looks of the actors. Yeah, I think Jake was cuter when he was a little boy. Well, anyway. So then the plot. The plot is the main part of the episode where the problem is presented. So the characters act in a certain way, and at the end of the episode, they solve the problem or not. The majority of episodes follow the pattern of the circular dramaturgy. That means that the final part of the episode doesn't have any importance on the major big story of the whole series. Okay, so most episodes are circular, but sometimes there are some episodes which make the story actually progress. Depending on the type of sitcom, the plot is more or less important. So for example, when you watch Two and a Half Men, you usually watch it because it's funny, and that's all. You don't watch it because it has a complex story. But for example, when you watch How I Met Your Mother, you watch it because it's funny, but also because you want to know who the mother is. So, also many times there is a side plot, which is like a secondary plot, and well, simply another story in that episode, and in the end, most times they end up converging into each other. Then we have the closing credits. You know this from the movies. This is the part where the names of the actors and the producers are shown. And usually the opening theme is played once again here. But depending on the TV program, this part is cut off sometimes. And finally the tag, which is just like the teaser, but even shorter. It is also finished by a gag. And it has nothing to do with the story of the episode. It has no importance for the story. Okay, the key characters. If we have a close look at the characters of all these sitcoms, there's always at least one character we could consider a key character. It's a character who has a very special attitude, often exaggerated and strongly underlined. This is German, so good. And that character is the subject of most gags, becoming very recognizable. And what's most important, the key character is the showmaker. So the key character sells the show. Without that character, the series wouldn't be the same. 2 examples. Dr. Sheldon Cooper, for example. Okay, so he says, I often forget other people have limitations. It's so sad. There's no other guy in any series who feels so superior to other people than him. Or, for example, Barney from How I Met Your Mother. Yeah? When I'm sad, I stop being sad and be awesome instead. It's that easy. Okay, so what would How I Met Your Mother be, for example, without Barney? And he isn't even the protagonist. He's just a secondary character, but even though he's a key character of the series. Okay, next, the running gags. Another reason why sitcoms are so popular are the running gags. I think we commented this in class one day, maybe? I don't remember. Well, anyway, running gags basically are gags which are repeated over and over while the series continues, okay, in many different episodes.
Okay. An inside joke, you mean?
Yeah, well.
Like it's a joke typical from this sitcom, and it's
Exactly, but the thing is they repeat it over and over. This is why it's called a running gag, because it runs through the series. Well, I think. With the running gags, the writers play with our expectations. So sometimes the running gags are funny because we expect them to come, but sometimes they are funny because we didn't expect them to come, and they surprise us. And one example of a running gag you all know. Penny, penny, penny. For example. Sometimes the running gags are funny because they change the basic idea of the gag and include it in many different situations. I had a video for that, so look for it. Sorry for the video.
oh, there is a missing K. There's a missing
Oh.
K. That's why, yeah, if you click the other one, probably.
Yeah.
hell is wrong with you?
I'm the Flash. I just knocked 30,000 times. Penny. Penny.
Penny.
That's just wrong. Penny. 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 Here. I had to trade the others for my life. Penny. Penny.
What?
Penny.
Okay, so I think you got the idea.
Yeah.
Depending on how. So yeah, it's an inside.
Okay. Another thing, have you noticed the laugh tracks in the episode? Usually these sitcoms actually are recorded in front of a real audience, and they also record the actual laughters of the people. But what happens is when they dub the series, for example from the American to the Spanish version, they lose the original soundtrack, and then they have to put some pre-recorded laughters into the scenes to complete them. And I think it's quite funny because I think sometimes we wouldn't know when to laugh if it wasn't for those laughters. This is my opinion. And yeah, and another running gag, for example, are the typical lines of the characters, or inside jokes, like Barney's legendary, yeah. Oh my god, this presentation is legend, wait for it. There we go. So, the influence in pop culture. Especially these two last factors, the running gags and the key characters, ensure that sitcoms become very popular. So there are many internet memes, many references in the web, many images and tons of things which are about these sitcoms. Like for example the True Story meme of Barney, you all know that one, sure. Which is in fact a line of Barney from the series. Not to get technical, but according to chemistry, alcohol is a solution. Yeah. Or another meme which is combined with a reference. I don't always tell you about your mother, but when I do, it's 8 seasons long. Well, in fact, it's 9. And yeah, and the last thing, another thing that I found very curious. In 2010, there was a raise of 17% of physics students in the United Kingdom, and there are actually many people who believe that this is because of the Big Bang Theory. Yeah. Because they made nerds or physics nerds seem cooler. I want to study physics as well, but it's not because I want to be like Sheldon. Yeah, so this is the end of my presentation. I hope you liked it. Any questions?